this is a good weight distribution from heel to toe because this is in real time. So you're into your right side a little more, and you should be. This is your pressure.
So I'm 55% on my
Yep,
right foot.
55, and you're pretty much, your center of pressure is evenly distributed right over the ball of your foot. Your pressure trace, that ball going over to your right side. I love how you shallow the club out here. This is nice coming in. And then impact, your weight, 58%. Right on the middle of your shoe, 50-50. I mean, that's good. That's really good. And it's going to go into your heel as you get further down and into your follow through. The weight goes more into the heel. Not much though. And you're pushing off your right toe, which is what you should do. So that trace is pretty good, really. And I like the shallow plane angle coming into the ball. And I love how you change planes. The best players in the world actually do what you do. And I'm trying to get a lot of people to do what you're doing here. And what you're doing is your club shaft goes from slightly steeper on the backswing to more narrow, shallow on the downswing, or the plane of the shaft gets flatter. Now, you can see this in pretty much all the tour players, and I study this pretty closely. Now, here's the hands when his left arm's at 3 o'clock, the shaft's at 70 or 69. If we put a circle right over his hands and we take his hands up to the top, there's his club, put a circle there, and then we put a straight line from the center of the circle through the center of his hands. What we're going to see is exactly what you do. Now he's going to shallow out the club. So now what does that mean? The club shaft is on a flatter plane angle.
Right.
And that's exactly what you're doing. So in terms of
parallel with his
right.
It's right parallel with his hips.
Yep. And then as you go up to the top, your hands are here. And then if we draw the same lines, you're going to shallow it out. Your hands drop down. That's good. And the club runs right down the plane there. That's good. So that's a nice impact position. You're still getting a good turn out of your lower half.
I definitely felt like all the work we did getting me more on top of the ball helped.
Yeah, and I can see it here because you're using.
I'm not stuck behind it.
No.
None of that.
And the club exits on a nice plane. If I.
I'm still below the shoulder.
Yep. And then if your swing path is a fade swing path. Your club head path is to the left, which is what it should be for a fade, and the face should be open to the path. So all that's good. So I think this is going to help you.
So I just have to figure out exactly where to aim.
Well, you're going to aim the club face exactly where you aim at every shot, which is right at the flag, hopefully.
Mm-hmm.
The shoulders and feet are going to be square. The only thing we're changing is foot flare. So if I put a club across your heels, I want the heels to be parallel to the target line. That has nothing to do with the foot flare.
Right.
It's a big misconception. People, if you flare the left foot, people think you're supposed to pull it back off the line. No, you can flare your left foot and it's still in the same place. But for you should feel a little more square in your almost perpendicular to the target line in your left foot, and then, or I should say, your front foot and your trail leg should be a little more flared, slightly, maybe 15 degrees or something. The trail leg's going to be open, and which will get your hips a little more square, or even slightly closed, which is fine. Now, I don't want you to close your stance, though. In this swing, your stance is a little bit closed, but that's okay. I mean, I want you at the end of the day to feel comfortable that you can turn, and I think from here you can turn. So I'm not as much concerned about You know, obviously it's going to take some work to get used to this, but I think you're going to ultimately have more consistency.